And the topic in this particular session, when God abandons. We're in verse 24, and we're going to make it all the way through several verses thereafter. So let's take a look. Verse 24. So God abandoned them to do whatever shameful things their hearts desired. As a result, they did vile and degrading things with each other's bodies. They traded the truth about God for a lie. So they worshiped and served the things God created instead of the Creator himself, who is worthy of eternal praise. Amen. That is why God abandoned them to their shameful desires. Even the women turned against the natural way to have sex and instead indulged in sex with each other. And the men, instead of having normal sexual relationships with women, burned with lust for each other. Men did shameful things with other men, and as a result of this sin, they suffered within themselves the penalty they deserved. Since they thought it foolish to acknowledge God, he abandoned them to their foolish thinking and let them do the things that should never be done. Their lives became full of every kind of wickedness, sin, greed, hate, envy, murder, quarreling, deception, malicious behavior, and gossip. They are backstabbers, haters of God, insolent, proud, and boastful. They invent new ways of sinning, and they disobey their parents. They refuse to understand, break their promises, are heartless, and have no mercy. They know God's justice requires that those who do these things deserve to die, yet they do them anyway. And worse yet, they encourage others to do them too. When God abandons you, God abandoned them. As we saw in the last session, that even the atheists knew, and as a result, they begin in their wickedness. They don't want to have anything to do with God. So against the principles that are already within, they go against principles that are already within. We're going to talk about that just a little in a session that will come up later in this few minutes in the book of Romans. And so they did vile and degrading things. Now, as we look at the text, I don't get it, how persons can misread these things. I guess I do get it. I understand, if you want to be in denial, you can be in denial. But there's no doubt about, Paul points out here clearly. Now watch this. Just have great balance as we look at this text. He points out here clearly what is lesbian activity, what is homosexual activity, women with women doing unnatural things, as the text has it, and men likewise. So there's no doubt about it. That's used as an illustration of how far they had gone. So far that they would bring humanity to an end if they were left to do just those things alone. But it doesn't stop there. We don't want to make it appear that those are the only things, those things of homosexual activity of women with women and with men. Because he goes on. He continues to identify how far out and how vile humanity became and how vile humanity is. And that's the point as we look at it here. He continues on. Their lives became full of every kind of wickedness, sin, greed, hate, evil, murder, quarreling, deception, malicious behavior, and gossip. They are backstabbers. Every kind of thing. Boastful, you name it. He's just hitting every kind of thing. So it's not just a matter of homosexual activity. There's all kinds of things that will transpire within humanity when God abandons you. And the thing that I love to indicate, disobeying parents. Disobeying parents. They broke their promises, had no integrity. Just when it is just completely devoid of the laws of God. Now, interesting, what time period is Paul actually talking about? As Paul is this person with extraordinary insight and the grasp of God's whole oracle, what time period is he talking about? And you could go back, if I were Paul, it's 2,000 years ago, and the background that he has, he's talking about any particular time. Certainly the times before Noah, certainly the times of, the Jewish people, because see, the thing about it, when you look at what is transpiring within the Jewish family, within the Jewish household, within the nation of Israel, during the period of the kings, during the period of the southern and northern kingdom, they began to do things that were completely, led by the religious leaders, by the way, that were completely devoid of the laws of God. And now, and he's setting the table here because he's going to demonstrate that the same things are transpiring at the time that he's writing. And in that sense, there's a more broad aspect of what he's saying. It is not only the period of people before Noah. It is not only the nation of Israel that is in its decay, but it is humanity. He's always talking about it's the condition of humanity, whether it be Jew or Gentile, when God abandons you.